Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's me. I'm Minx, and I'm joined with Great Cloud, and KJ's on the phone. What's up, you guys?
What's up, Nation?
Holy shit, we're live. And we're fucking early, too, on a Tuesday. Hell yeah. Suck a dick. But no, because, Tuesdays I normally get off work like an hour ago. But I got done early today, so fuck yeah. Super excited. No, I don't think you understand. We pushed out 3 total hips in the matter of 10 hours.
That's pretty good. Then I take it.
It is for my doc because he, he's still a little out of residency, so he's still trying to get his groove and everything. So, But yeah, no, it was a good day though. Especially our last case. I was able to keep my doc in a good mood all day, which that in and of itself, I'm fucking, just really excited about. And then 2, our very last case, we were able to joke around with each other, and we started exchanging movie quotes from Dumb and Dumber, which I can fucking do that all day. And so that was fun. And then one of our sales reps was there, and he was saying how he was really looking forward to tonight because he's got the house to himself, because his wife and, I think she's almost 2 months old, daughter are out of the house right now. And he's like, I'm so excited. I'm going to drink and I'm going to eat steak and it's just going to be a good night. And he was telling us how, when he was single, he had just this wine fridge, right? And he's like, the thing was always stocked because I never drank wine. And I was like, but then why did you have it? And he's like, oh, for the bitches. And I was like, oh, okay. Right? And then, but yeah, so now he's saying that his wine fridge is always empty. And I was like, oh, because you're your wife? And he's like, yeah, I can't keep it stocked. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. I don't know what to tell you, right? But then my doc interjected, and he's like, how can she be drinking? She's breastfeeding. And our PA was like, oh, just pump and dump. And my doc, without missing a beat, he goes, I pump and dump sometimes too. And I'm like, oh, no. And I had to hit him on his shoulder. I was like, no, you're being so naughty right now. Stop it. Focus.
Sharp.
Right? God, I pump and dump sometimes. I don't want to know that. Although, my doc's wife is expecting twins, so I know last time he and I talked about it, it had been a while since she had put out. So his hand might be getting more action than, anything at this current moment. I don't know.
No cause. No GOT update tonight.
No update. ICE does the updates now on Mondays with cuffs. You remember? I remember.
Now?
What?
So is that their thing now on Mondays?
I guess. I'm not sure. I know he did it the first week, like after episode 1, and and then apparently like that just kind of took over for them. So I don't know, but yeah. So.
Okay, so hey, Cuffs, Minx, whoever you are.
Yes, no, I'm definitely Minx.
I watched that. I watched an episode of the Dead Files, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was just thinking about bringing it up, and quite literally, my Xbox just turned on randomly.
Ah.
So I'm about to go perform an exorcism.
Oh no, use salt.
Kosher or regular?
Sea salt works best. True story. Or if you have black salt, that's also really powerful.
And tasty.
Black salt?
Mm-hmm.
I've never cooked with it. I always just use it to banish shit.
So
You think I'm joking?
No, I don't think you're joking, actually.
how was your weekend, Great Cloud?
Say what?
How was your weekend, dude? We've heard, it's pump and dump with Minx, so
Yeah.
that's a little.
So my weekend was eventful, uneventful, busy. That's a good word, busy. So the CEO is out at location now.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove said vehicle out there with items
Oh, wow.
to out there and house out there. So that was a 16, 17
Holy
ish
shit.
hours. That's of just driving. That's not like counting breaks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I got there Saturday evening,
Mm-hmm.
and relaxed for a little bit. Took Sunday to relax, and then flew back Monday morning, and then kind of decompressed, and then rolled into work. So
Fun.
yeah, it was it was a full weekend. I mean, I was exhausted, but I entertained the idea of going into work.
Uh-huh.
But an hour drive into work after driving for 16, 17 hours just did not sound like a good thing to do.
Like yesterday or today?
Yesterday, because I got in before noon yesterday, and I was kind of excited about that. The flight was faster than anticipated,
Nice.
so it was yeah, it was good though.
I love when that happens.
Yeah,
Awesome,
but so I just decompressed.
How was your weekend, KJ?
Interesting.
Oh.
So I took the first day out of our when we have days off honeymoon with my wife, and we went downtown, and this is my first time actually going downtown and just going downtown to be just a tourist.
Oh, how did
And,
that go?
Yeah, no, it's retarded. Like I went there, and I remember going there before the big boom in my city, and before the big population boom, and like beers were like $3-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $14 just for me to have a beer, just to have a Corona.
A Corona costs $14.
Yeah,
Where the fuck is that at?
That's in Nashville.
bro.
Dude, fuck that.
Yeah, we immediately like just, and the worst part was it was old. Like, it wasn't a fresh Corona. It was probably like backstocked for months and months and years. And it just, I looked at the expression. I'm like, no, fuck this shit. Walked down to one of the hotels. I dropped my pilots and flight attendants off and ordered a Mai Tai because I'm a fruity little son of a gun with my alcohol. But that isn't the interesting part.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Walking down, there's this dude I see him every night when I go to this hotel. I went to go get the Mai Tais. See him every night on the computer, dicking around the computer at the hotel. And I'm like, hey man, I see you every night. What's up? I never talked to you. How are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. I gotta sell that dope, gotta sell that green, gotta sell that powder, man. You looking to buy? Nope, I'm good. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So long. Bye. Peace. You sure, man? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure. Leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my god.
So now I can
Wait,
say that.
did you get his name?
No, but when I went to drop pilots off last night at said hotel, dropped the pilots off. He comes walking out. Oh, hey man, how you doing, man? What you doing? I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, leave me the hell alone. I'm at work. No.
Megan, stop.
So apparently he thinks we're friends, and I just don't want to piss him off because he's a coke dealer. So
that's so awkward.
So, string add on to that. When I was getting out, that because of my where I'm from, I was asked that question many, many times if I was going to partake in said items when I got home and I got out, and I said no because I would like to keep my ASIs that I have and be worth big money. But yeah, that question got asked. So when I identified when I was going to be getting out and leaving, I probably got asked that question at least twice a day.
Huh. Fun.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But now don't get me wrong. The thought to send baked items back to said individuals crossed my mind once or twice.
Oh, that would have been
evil.
good. But right, like baked goods back to people.
Only because of those certain individuals I didn't care for.
Oh my
God! Just saying, these are homemade. You
right?
can trust them.
There's a little note inside. Just want to wish you the best with your Army career and hope everything goes well for you. Love, Gray Cloud. And you change the wrapping out to like Mama's homemade fudge brownies or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It would
Dude, I don't know. I've never had an edible. I've heard stories. I've heard good and bad stories about edibles, and like my one friend who, like, from high school, she went to Amsterdam and got a pot brownie because, you know, it's fucking legal there. And then a group of kids I hung out with in high school, like my core group of friends, like, God, we were fucking prudes, right? Like, legit, we were fucking prudes. And so, you know, she's never done drugs ever. So she goes to a place where it's fucking legal. So she's like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to get high because I can now, right? It's legal. So it's fine. And she said it was disgusting. She got this big ass like hot brownie. She said it was disgusting. It was dry. It was the worst thing she's ever eaten. And on top of that, she did not get high. So she spent like 9 hours in Amsterdam pissed because this ginormous pot brownie failed to fucking do anything.
See, I want to go to California.
A glass of milk?
Dude, I don't fucking know what she did. But then on the train ride back, because she studied abroad in Germany, so then she hopped on the train to go back to country, right? And stopped at a different coffee shop and got a different brownie. And she said it was the best thing she's ever eaten. It was super moist and chewy. She's like, and apparently this thing was like huge, right? Hold on, wait, it was huge. And and then like on the train ride back to Germany, she starts noticing that people are turning colors. And that there's this orange ball that's like kind of just floating around in her fucking like view and everything. Turns out she ate a shroom brownie.
Oh.
And she ate the whole thing. Right? So this huge brownie, right? And where you're only supposed to like, you know, eat a tiny portion of it. She ate the whole thing. She was high for 48 hours. Like, she was tripping balls for 48 hours. She wrote a term paper while tripping. And according to her professor, it was the best thing she had ever written.
Holy fuck.
Right? Like, and all that does for me is, like, I need to try this now. This needs to happen. Like, I want to see people turn colors. Like, I just want to know, like, what I would see, right? Like, but I know that I have to be in, like, a good state of mind, and I know I have to be in a safe environment, and I know I have to be around people that I trust. because otherwise I'll have a bad trip. And I've heard what happens if you have a bad trip, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay, so you want the green fairy from Absinthe. You want to have a shroom brownie.
Yes.
Are we adding anything else to this Euro trip already infused concoction of food and drink for you, Minx? Because
Here's some blow.
well, allegedly ecstasy is kind of fun, but that's dangerous. So maybe that. I don't know.
fuck it, we're going all out.
But
I know a guy, so we're good. Just come over here. Apparently, I know a guy. So.
those are the only things. That's it. Like I draw the line at that. Like after that, I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. No, and then like I may or may not have allegedly at some point in time that I can neither confirm nor deny have smoked weed at some point in time. And when that happens, like, no, me and marijuana just don't mix. Because all I want to do is like sit at home, right? And especially if I'm out in public and I do it, I don't have a good time and I don't feel happy. I'm just like, I just want to go home and sit down and eat or sleep. Oh, sleep.
Well, I want to sleep, and I've never done any of that. So
right? Oh, sleep does sound good. I've been up since like 3:30 this morning. I'm fucking exhausted.
oh, you poor thing.
I know, right?
You actually, when you texted me, I was still asleep. I woke up for like an hour to kiss my wife goodbye, and then it's like, I have to day off. I'll just sleep.
I texted you this morning?
No, not this morning. This afternoon. With the timer.
Oh, T2.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, I missed my alarm, and I was freaking out because I thought it was time for the show.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get fired.
No, everybody gets one.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Who on fire suit?
Apparently the Lannister army. Oh my god, seriously though, if fucking Drogon dies, I'm gonna get pissed. However, I have friends who have seen leaked episodes and or read leaked scripts. Apparently Drogon's fine. It's the green one that gets fucked up. Spoilers.
Hey.
Dude,
spoilers.
I don't know. Like that's just what that's just what they fucking like commented on like my fucking like my real book, not my fake book, but my real book account. Like I posted something about that and I was like, I'm gonna fucking riot if one of these dragons dies. Like that's it. I fucking call it. Like I care way too much about a CGI dragon in a fictional show. Like I'm way too emotionally invested into these make-believe characters. And I understand that. So I can't be fully crazy because I understand that this is not real.
I'm just going to say an unpopular opinion. I feel very bad for Bronn. Like, I feel for him because all he wants is just a place to hang his hat.
Right?
He's been promised that for how many seasons?
All he wants is a fucking castle and a wife and some gold, god damn it.
And Jaime's just like, I'm sorry, my sister's a bitch.
Right? God. So bad. Oh, go on, Grey Cloud.
As I say, should we jump to some real things?
Oh, real news? Sure.
So the POTUS was in the news today.
Oh God, when isn't he?
Well, this is true too. And he basically threatened North Korea.
Oh fuck yeah!
The best quote, the quote that's captured and making its rounds is North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He's been threatened beyond he's been very threatening beyond a normal state. They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power the likes of which the world has never seen before. So that's just a quick quote on what he's talking about. let's see here. Trump's harsh words come as U.S. intelligence analysts have assessed that North Korea has produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead, according to multiple sources familiar with the analysis of North Korea's missile and nuclear program. So for those of you who are not tracking, this has been the baseline of where North Korea really stands on being a threat to the U.S. And the rest of the region in there, is that they did not have the capability or the technology to miniaturize a warhead and mount it onto one of their ICBMs or any of their other missiles for that matter. So this kind of changes the game, that they could, if the reports are to be accurate, they could have miniaturized a nuclear warhead that they can now mount on one of their missiles, and it changes the entire complexity of the region. Let's see here. The U.S. official familiar with the analysis of North Korea's missiles and nuclear program says, in reference to North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un's boasts about the program, we have to take him at his words, and we need to be prepared to deal with it. Makes me a little worried.
Well, especially given their statement today. Or I should say technically Wednesday, because it's technically Wednesday over there for them now. North Korea apparently is considering a plan to strike Guam, which, as everyone knows, is one of our territories.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then with their fucking missile tests, we know that they're very capable of hitting Japan because it keeps fucking crashing into the Sea of Japan. So they're capable of hitting Japan and obviously South Korea, since it's right fucking there. But now, now Guam's under threat, and so they said that they are carefully examining a plan to strike Guam just hours after President Trump told the North that they would be met with fire and fury.
So here's
they said they would carry out preemptive operations if the United States showed signs of provocation.
Right. So here's the whole thing with that, is that it blows my mind, because here you have two sides of a very, very difficult issue to kind of wrap your head around. One, you're dealing with the North Korean regime, okay, who has proven to be unpredictable, and even the best analysis is usually far from what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the POTUS, fairly more predictable. However, somebody who rallied his base, about being patriotic and bringing back the military might of the United States. That was one of his big things. Would he look for a first strike? Yeah, that strike be so decisive.
It would have to be
allow nuclear weapons.
It would have to be complete. It would have to be justified, in that it was 100% justified. There was no way to not do a first strike, especially I think with the way this country is, as far, and not country, but the way our media is, the way our fucking Congress is, and how everything that Trump does is not good enough and is somehow wrong, right? No matter what he fucking does, it's gonna be fucking wrong. So I think that if he does say, all right, yes, no, code red, or what the fuck ever, we're going after North Korea first, we're gonna make the first move. He needs to make sure that he can undeniably justify it, to where there is no doubt that, yes, no, we had to make the first move,
If that Guam thing, something doesn't smell right, though. Why would you hit Guam? Other
Because
than it being a territory we have stuff there. What purpose does that serve?
they would hit us. Like, in their mind, that's all they fucking care about. Because, you know, to them, like, and technically, we're still at war with them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, there's that ceasefire that happened in 53, but we are still technically at war with them. And so I think they're just looking for any possible way to strike at us and to draw first blood and get this thing reignited.
I hate to say it, but so I'm in Nashville, and we're anticipating 500,000 people here for the eclipse.
Yes.
500,000 people on top of our already established population.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was a megalomaniac, insane dictator, this is why I'm having trouble processing Guam, because you know people are going to congregate in major cities along that path of totality, where you have the total eclipse.
Is
That's what
Guam
I would
in
do.
there?
No.
No,
Oh.
no, it's Oregon straight down a diagonal line southeast.
Yeah.
Like Nashville is in there. You know, you have a bunch of other major cities in like Illinois and Oregon and a few other states. But
I'm actually gonna go
that's
see
what I
it.
would hit. If I was a complete and total crazy man who knew, who had an idea of what he wanted, I would do something like that.
But I mean,
Because Guam, it's the closest thing other than the guys in South Korea that'll hit. But if he hits Guam, there's nothing. That's not going to do anything other than piss off mainland USA.
it's got an Air Force base.
Correct.
It's got
but
a
if you,
big Air Force base, and that's one of, like, they friggin', like, the whole reason we've got a base there is to help control the Pacific.
Yeah, and I'm not doubting that. But if you look at it, you can cripple. Look at what happened right after 9/11. The nation the nation drew into itself for a very brief period, but for that brief period of time, complete chaos could have happened in that very brief period of time if they were that devious and that bent. You do something like that in the Heartland attack, you know, in the middle of the country, it'll definitely set us back. You're reeling. Where if you hit an Air Force base, it's strategically you hit Guam, but if you really want to fuck with the people, nuke a city during a solar eclipse, because you don't know what the fuck that'll do to THAAD or to our missile defense, to our missile. What the fuck am I talking about? To the satellites, to anything. They're probably thinking about that as well. Hopefully they are, because the pilots that I talked to that drop off, they're all dreading the 21st because they're grounding planes. That's one industry I know. Planes are not a lot of planes are not flying for that brief time that you have that path of totality. They're not flying in that path. They're going to be staying where the light is, and that's a bit nerve-wracking.
It's a little superstitious.
Right. It's just going to look like Twilight for 2.5 minutes. It'll be fine. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Like, but I mean, you know, it would be, in my mind, if they were to attack Guam, that would be the same thing that, you know, Japan did with Pearl Harbor. You know, they fucking attacked some random fucking, because technically at that point in time, Hawaii was still just a territory. And like you know, a couple of years later became a state. But
Right. Harbor was the home of the Pacific Fleet.
yeah, I know that, but still, Hawaii was still just a territory. And you know, but at the same time, what did that do? That in Japan's own words, like, they awoke a sleeping giant. And so I think that North Korea should, you know, look back at history and see what happens when we're attacked, you know? So, like, I think it would be a dumb move on their part if they were to, like, strike first. But if they do, then it's going to justify our fucking retaliation.
any strike against us is going to justify a retaliate, an equal and well measured response from us in the likes of a military strike. The question becomes then with POTUS and his entourage on who's advising him, what does that response look like, and what is a measured response? That becomes a real question, because how we respond and how it's measured will set the tone for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Not just for relations with the Korean Peninsula, but with the whole Pacific. So that step, whether it be a first strike due to looming intel that we've got, or it be retaliatory, it will really, really set the tone. So that would need to be measured, and I do not envy those that have to help make that decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just settled by nose goes.
Right? I don't think it gets settled like that.
Yeah, fuck North Korea.
Well, yes, that would be the optimal response, is to cut slings load and let them deal with themselves. However, they are a current nuisance in the region, and they should be dealt with when that time presents itself. The only issue, and we've discussed it so far, is that does that a first strike from us, or is that a response in a retaliatory manner? Because it's preservation of us, the U.S. and our, the way of life and all that other stuff. However, but it's to keep them from delivering a blow that would really set us back and or harm the U.S. population. Doc 77, I'm not saying that it's wrong for the U.S. to have a first strike capability, and we do have a first strike capability. However, we've always been viewed as the righteous and the self-defense and the defender of those who cannot. So it becomes a point on hearts and minds, really. Do we want to look like the aggressor, or do we want to look like those that are there to win the battle for those who can't fight for themselves? And I agree with that point. The best defense is a well-executed offense. Again, but you got to look at the whole mindset.
Yeah. I kind of agree with what Kaz said in Mixer. Like, no matter what he does, he's going to be wrong. No matter what President Trump does, he's going to be wrong in everyone's fucking eyes. Well, not everyone. Like, just, Congress and the media, because, he can't do anything right.
True, but let's go back to Bush when he was when he went into Afghanistan, when he went into Iraq. Was he viewed as being wrong at that point? I don't think so, because he had the support of the nation, really, because 9/11 had happened shortly there before, backing the nation, and we went forward. When he was viewed as being wrong is when he used that statement to bring it on or whatever it was to justify him and the issues he was facing with the resurgence of the Taliban and Al Qaeda and whatnot.
Whereas now we're so divided as a country, not just politically in the swamp, but in just regular Joe Schmo and Jane Schmo's house. It's no matter what he does, he'll be wrong. He'll be viewed as wrong. But there's a lot of people that are still trepidatious. This is coming from a independent conservative.
You know what? I think anybody who would be facing this situation, it wouldn't matter if it's first strike or retaliatory. They'd be viewed as wrong. I would stake one paycheck on that individual that pulls that trigger and makes that decision would be viewed as it was a wrong decision to make.
Yeah.
Now my question is, what kind of first strike are we talking? A conventional, or are we talking ICBM? Because that's what
there are conventional ICBMs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have specified nuclear versus conventional.
I don't think so. Based on what I've read of doctrine and whatnot, I don't think we would ever use a nuclear option as a first strike unless it absolutely needed it. I know that's unwritten. You know, you hear all those rumors and some of the conspiracy theory policies out there that weapon of mass destruction use against the U.S. will invoke a nuclear response. However, I think at this point it would all be conventional munitions, only because we have that ability and we have that in our arsenal that we can send that message clear and directly to a regime like North Korea with conventional weapons. However, with that being said, if another country steps in, we may need to exercise another weapon option.
Another weapon option, like what?
Maybe a nuke. But again, this is all theory. This is all us spitballing and us talking about what ifs and what could be's. If I were king for a day or president for a day or whatever, these would be options I would be asking to be weighed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are small nuclear weapons, ones that can be fired from a 155 even. And Nation, if you guys didn't know anything about that, chime in on the Facebook Live comments or Mixer comments there, and let us hear it.
Right.
But the tone in which, going back to the original discussion here, the tone in which the POTUS expressed those comments, I did catch him a live feed of it. They were very authoritative, and like a day of reckoning was coming. So it worried me a little bit that he might not hesitate to pull that fucking trigger.
Now, here's a valid question. Let's say we were to use conventional means. How fast, how soon do you think us and South Korea could steamroll? Just no warning, like just telling commanders, hey, we're doing this in 3 days. You got 3 days to prep. That's it. And then you're going. If you ain't in a truck, you're walking. How fast do you think we could, do something that quick with who we have over there and with South Korea, with the South Korean military?
Like a land invasion?
Yeah.
Just push across the 38th?
Naval support, air support, that's already there. That's already there.
So I'm going to throw a dart at a wall here. And I'm going to say they could be moving in 18 hours and steamrolling through the 38th parallel.
Right, if they really wanted to. At the same time, though, that would...
Here's the problem, though.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel comfortable.
It does not. But the problem is, it would, again, you'd have to go back to that first strike mentality, that first strike capability, and be really, really ready to commit to that, because the artillery on the other side of the 38th is got a lot of shit dialed in, supposedly, allegedly.
Right, allegedly.
an on fire suit. Nobody really wants to wear it, but it looks kind of cool. But no, so it could be done, but it'd have to be done as a first strike. Anything other than first strike, trying to roll across the 38th, is not going to happen quickly. Not with what's there on the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I remember at the time, like I was a little kid when this came out, but there was this game called Mercenaries that came out, and they did an excellent representation of driving up to the 38th parallel, because it was no vehicles, there was no one on the ground in this video game. It was just artillery fire, non-stop artillery fire, and that's the only thing I can imagine is that on a much more grander and lethal scale than just in some video game. That just, I could not conceive, or I could not imagine the amount of firepower that's on that border with artillery. And God help us if we were running into that.
Yeah. And again, that's the biggest fear from the one side, is that, what is dialed in. We know it's probably dialed in. I mean, it's just one of those givens that all that stuff's been there for so long that all they gotta do is put a shell in, pull a trigger, or pull a string, and they'll hit what they want to hit. Going to Doc's thing there in the mixer, what's wrong with flying a couple of mobbers? You mean bombers from Japan and bomb shit out of respect to Newtsikes? Personally, nothing. But again, it goes back to justifying that first strike capability. If, not that this would happen, but let's say that happened, we bomb their alleged nuke sites, we roll in and they don't have anything. Then we're right back in the quagmire we've got with Iraq, with the missing WMD, or the alleged missing WMD. So that's probably one of the reasons we haven't really committed to something like that. But again, I don't see anything wrong with it if you can justify the first strike capability. Rather, action. Let's use that word, because the first strike action capability we know we have.
I like it. No, you guys keep discussing. This is nice.
Oh, Minx is just kicking back like, oh man, cool.
No, this is good. I like where you guys are going.
So here's some of the other issues with a first strike against the North Koreans, is that, so we strike them, right? We own them outright. Okay, so we roll across the 38th parallel. We take control of North Korea. We work on unification process, right? What does China do at that point, though?
Oh, that's to me,
that's
China or Russia getting involved. I don't think Russia would, but if China did, that would be my worst case, because they're always constantly. They have numbers. There's nothing. We don't have enough rounds there to deal with those numbers, and they could literally just screw it. Go. Yeah, one man with a rifle, one man with a magazine. Go, and that would be enough just to overwhelm any position.
That was a Russian tactic back
Oh yeah, well, I
at one
took
point.
it from enemy to gates.
But that's because they didn't have supplies for it. But no, it's a good point, KJ. Is that their numbers would overwhelm anybody, and that's where you have to start thinking of non-conventional means of defeating that enemy. However, a more rational mind would think that if it kicked off on the peninsula, if the balloon went up on the peninsula, I think the Chinese will let the North Koreans be on their fucking own. I think they would I think the North Koreans would, the Chinese would close that border with the North, seal it off basically until everything was done. Once it's done, then we'd have to wait to see what the Chinese would do or want to negotiate. So here's a couple of other problems that would be inherited. One, there's no real infrastructure with inside North Korea. There are numerous satellite photos and photos from the International Space Station that show very little light throughout the country. Because on either side, you can see China lit up and South Korea lit up like Christmas trees. And then what's the infrastructure? And then the people themselves, taking care of them. What is that actually going to entail? And what kind of burden and drain is that going to pull on the South Korean economy?
You know, I can see.
So let's make, if we roll into North Korea, what's North Korea's real export? What's their real domestic capability for production? No one really knows, but we do know that they get money by selling technology to places like Iran, right? So that drain on South Korea initially and immediately will really hinder South Korea. And then we look to the international community and international partners to help bring this this part of Korea now at that point, because you'd think they'd look for immediate unification. Doc, that's good. General Tso's chicken. But the only advantage would be the opening of the trade lines between South Korea, or Seoul basically, and China. Because it's a direct commute, a direct route for that trade partner, if that makes sense.
I think, I don't know. I mean, not even thinking in terms of trade and what product they can produce, but just on a humanitarian level, you're going to deal with people that have, and I would understand China closing that border. You'd have to deal with malnutrition. You'd have to deal with civilian casualties, civilian wounded. You'd have to deal with all of these things that this country that is essentially a good, 30, 40 years behind us.
Oh, easily.
In infrastructure and several other industries, they don't have as many modern niceties that we have, and that's going to be a bigger issue, because once you have, just like what happened in the early 2000s, the camera crews will roll in, they will want to be there, they will want to report, and those things will get seen, and we're going to have an outpouring of, oh my God, we have to help. And I think China would step up then. If they close the border, I think they'd help humanitarian, but I don't think they would risk, especially with President Trump right now and how a lot of people view him as unpredictable. I don't think they would risk pissing off a world leader that they view as unpredictable.
Right. I don't see them come across the border in a military manner. Like you said, I think as soon as hostilities were ceased or declared over, they would probably, it might take pressure from the international community, but I think they would immediately step in and look to offer humanitarian aid, bringing supplies in across the border. However, they would look for concessions from us mainly on what kind of kickbacks could they get for providing humanitarian aid to North Korea, or what is the former North Korea. But pushing across the border to defend the North, I don't see that happening. This isn't the 70s anymore, or 60s, however you want to look at it. With that, I really do think that the North would be on their own if the balloon goes up on the peninsula. I think the North is on their own.
The only other thing I can see happening is this becoming Germany, North Korea becoming the same as Germany post World War II, creating a new, once again, I said last week, Cold War 2.0 between China and any other superpower that wants to get involved. I can see something like that happening. I don't see it as likely, but it would be. It could be a stepping stone for a Cold War 2.0 of, oh, hey, we just destroyed all of North Korea. Look at what the Americans did. Look what the South Koreans did. You don't want to live with them. And then once again, we have them versus us all over again.
No, I think I don't see that being very likely, because I think Seoul and Washington would look for immediate reunification to avoid that from actually happening. Now, as with the humanitarian aid, I see them looking for that and asking that to come in from the international community. But a unified peninsula would be the first order of business between Seoul and Washington in making that happen, if that makes sense. Because you can't sit idly by and just let it dwell and fester and let that possibility even exist. You gotta move quickly to unify the two if you want to avoid this same issue in the future.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can, yeah. Contributing so much right now with the I get that. No, that makes more sense now that you explain it that way, GC.
So the only real hard step, and again, this is all based on what ifs, is who goes first strike. Do we let that happen? Do we take first strike? Do we wait for retaliatory action? Or do we we try to pressure China some more to step in and slap North Korea upside the head, which we've seen so far that the latter is not working so well, which is why the POTUS issued what he issued today. And again, the tone was very different from anything else that he's threatened about or, rattled, done his own saber rattling, or whatever you want to call it. The tone was completely different than anything else I've heard him say before, which is what worries me a little bit. I.e., we could find ourselves in a hot conflict in the next 30 to 60 days, quite possibly.
Are you putting squares down on this, or?
No, I'm not putting squares down on it. However, it's just the tone is different. Mm. If you guys get a chance, go find that clip. The tone is completely different than anything else he's ever said before. Not the words or the way he's what he's wanted to convey, the message you want to convey. The tone is different.
Like his tone of voice.
Yeah. Yes. The tone and the manner in which he addresses the situation.
Like the calm assertiveness.
It's almost cold and calculated.
Yes.
The way he says it,
but he was very calm, and it wasn't a normal, almost bantering. It was if they don't quit their shit, we as almost implying that there's a plan in place.
I Secretary Maddox, there probably is.
Yeah. So. And I think that's what he was implying, is that if they don't cut their shit, they're going to figure out, they're going to find out what happens.
So in the Mixer chat, Doc77, it's a good point. I've heard that rumor before that we would need at least tactical nukes, things that have less than a half kiloton to defeat the Chinese just based on numbers. Again, that's just a rumor. And then Redacted's got a good point of what would happen if, and that's always been one of the big fears, is the way that the North Koreans launch their test rounds or their test missiles. They always fly over not only Japanese territorial waters, but a lot of places where Japanese do their fishing. So what if one did malfunction or just splash down naturally onto a Japanese vessel? What then? Because the current way the SOFA and Constitution and whatnot are written for the country of Japan is that we will come to their aid if they are
Why
attacked.
You have your boat there? We land bomb there. Why you have boat?
Oh my God!
I just see the yelling coming from North Korea, you fuck up.
You fuck me, no, I fuck you.
I rap out loud.
Oh my God, we're all going to hell.
Well, have you seen my Venn diagram lately? That's what you hang behind me is my Venn diagram.
Right.
But so I mean those are good points. What would we Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, shit, damn it.
You were talking about Japan and like.
So we would come to
There
their,
we go.
we would come there in their defense. Okay. Now, the argument would be, it wasn't an attack. It was a failed test. Blah 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 blah. It wasn't a direct attack against the nation state. It can be argued both ways. They've been warned before not to fly them over that path and whatnot. So we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. I mean, we can slap more sanctions on them. Great. They're already a crumbling nation and can't fucking feed their people and are, dying every day in the streets. What do? Our hands would literally be tied. Same thing if something happened in Europe, if they invoke Article 5, right? Attack on one is an attack on all. What do we do at that point? Especially if the attack's against, Turkey and or some other nation that's one or the other. That was so worrisome about when Turkey shot down that Russian fighter. If Russia were to turn around and retaliate against Turkey, like a military attack, and Article 5 was invoked, what then?
I don't know. Like, you're asking really difficult questions that is above my pay grade. That is not in my job description to know the answers to these questions. Please try again.
If they invoked Article 5, God.
Like, I know, like, if they invoke that, and we're just, like, between a rock and a hard place.
Wait, it's really, I mean, seriously.
Like, ergo, I stick with my answer of this is above my pay grade, and I don't know.
Even further, they invoke Article 5. Okay, great. I'm assuming that they would expect us, the United States, to come because they came for us in the coalitions, in Afghanistan, Iraq.
Right.
Quid pro quo. And if we didn't, that would send a massive tone for the future.
NATO would be a joke at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let me rephrase. So NATO would invoke Article 5. Okay. The NATO body, I'd have to look it up, but the body would invoke Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all. Okay. Again, I go back to that whole, and that's what had everybody so worried and so spun up when Turkey shot down that Russian fighter. Going back to Syria, Crimea, whichever one it was, I think it was a serious situation. Had Russia retaliated militarily against Turkey, what would we have done? What would the U.S. have done?
Well, not only that, but then also the rest of Europe.
Anybody who's in NATO, yeah.
I mean, you have the United States, which is already occupied in several different conflicts. You have England, which has Brexit and still recovering from that, so the politicians are kind of tied up. You would have your two most powerful people in NATO dealing with their own personal shit, and then, oh, hey, Article 5, let's go. Rally up. We got a beach party at 10.
Right.
Without the beach. But yeah,
Turkey.
Yeah. Geopolitics 101 here on Tuesday nights.
Right. Fuck. Well, shit. With that, it's time for a break, y'all. Fuck.
Faux shizzle.
No, this is getting good. I can't wait for the next hour to see what we fucking talk about. Like, I'm really excited.
Don't worry about
I
it.
got something for the next hour.
Right? I know, right? Discussion, debate. This is so good. All right. We'll be back in a couple minutes, y'all. right, we're back.
What's up?
Thanks for
YOLO.
Thanks for hanging around, everybody. We're back and shit. I don't know. So I don't fucking know.
Bleh.
So here's my only green plug for the night. There. Now the nation knows to save the planet, and that's why.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Save with chocolate?
The only planet with chocolate.
God.
It's worth saving at that point.
Yes.
Saying.
We are the
I
only
would
planet
cry.
with chocolate.
Without chocolate milk, I would cry.
Oh my god, seriously though, speaking of chocolate, that's what I had for lunch today was chocolate cake, like a slice of chocolate cake. That was lunch. And then breakfast was a chocolate chip cookie
That's not breakfast.
because, I'm a fat ass. So
God.
here I am.
Wait, Spanky's on. Hide the snacks.
Right? And then
Oh my god. I showed her one of the chats today. It was a what was that? A flaming hot Cheeto cheese donut or something.
What?
Oh, it looked fucking delicious.
Thanks, Cuffs.
Y'all have fun with that.
Cuffs, you missed it last week. I got called a fat, ugly tranny. It was great. It was such like an ego boost. Let me tell you.
I'd let you serve in my direct action force any day.
Yeah, no, I got called a fat, ugly tranny. I was like, pretty sure I've always been female and I've never, had that reassigned in any way, shape, or form. So
Hey, Cuz, let me know if you need to borrow my 4-iron. I'll loan it to you.
I don't know who they were. They're from
4-iron.
some random fucking douchebag and Mixer said it. I don't know.
I want a 5. Give me a 5 wood. Give me a 5 or 4 wood. Give them splinters.
Whatever. Like honestly, like it wasn't even the most creative like insult ever. Like if you're gonna insult me, make sure it's fucking creative. Like put some Shakespeareanism into it or something where I'm like, what just happened? Where I'm not even really sure if you really did insult me or, do it in a creative way. Like, Monty Python. Your mother was, what was it?
Your mother was a whore and your father smells like elderberries.
Right? No. Your mother.
I bite my thumb at you, man.
No, your mother was a hamster.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Thank you.
what it is. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries, which is just it's a fun and creative way of saying your mom's a whore and your dad's drunk. Like, yeah, like, be fucking creative with your insults. Don't just go with the straight, like, easy answer. Or, the obvious insults.
When
Hold
you
on.
insult someone, there's two
Redacted.
ways.
If you
go
could write
old
me
school.
an iambic pentameter in the Mixer chat, I would be impressed.
Right? As long as you call me fat in the, what is it, iambic?
Iambic.
Pentameter.
Iambic?
Iambic.
Yeah, sure. Iambic pentameter.
Folklore.
Yeah, call me
That is
fat like
Layla.
that, and then I'll be impressed. I'll be like, oh, okay, touche. So, I don't know.
Poor me.
What?
His is all frozen. He don't know what's next going on except whore moms and drunk dads. Thank you, Mixer.
Right? Yes.
All right, so I told you I had another article queued up.
Yes.
Real
Go
quick.
on.
Oh, guess who's back at trial?
O.J. Simpson. No. Cash Me Outside Girl.
No.
No,
No.
the eyebrows. The chick who got 15 months for telling her boyfriend to commit suicide.
Nope.
Oh.
My ex-wife.
Let me give you another hint. This is going on at the center of the universe.
Shrek. Farmer Bro.
No.
Center of the universe. Donald Trump's not on trial.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I like that Taylor Swift answer. That's the center of my future universe.
Oh, it would be.
So
no, another hint.
Back in trial today.
Who?
Back in court today.
Oh, Bergdahl?
Yep.
That's right. His actual trial starts what, September?
Yeah, it's coming up. So here we go. This is just a quick article on it. Tuesday, Bergdahl entered the courtroom surrounded by his legal team minus his lead civilian lawyer, Eugene Fidel. Bergdahl's left arm was in a sling while he recovers from surgery.
Wait. Hold on. This hooker had surgery? For
Apparently
what?
so.
No, for what though? I'm so curious. Did someone beat his ass and then break his collarbone or his shoulder? I hope so.
Okay.
Like I know as a medic or medical professional, I'm not supposed to wish ill on people. It's something about the medical code of ethics or something. Where
ethics. At this point.
Where we're supposed to heal people and make them feel better, but at the same time, I hope they fucking destroyed him or something.
Anyways, let me continue with my article.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Please pray continue, good sir.
In court, Colonel Jeffrey Nance, the judge overseeing the case, was concerned about the lack of response from 20 potential panel members who could be seated to hear the court-martial. Oh, wow. During the session, Nance ruled to allow the testimony of 2 people who were injured while searching for Bergdahl, including former Navy SEAL and dog handler, Senior Chief Petty Officer James Hatch. The court has subpoenaed a CNN interview with Hatch talking about his failed mission to find Bergdahl, which subsequently led to him being severely wounded. He ultimately lost a leg. The defense was able to have the court suppress statements made by Bergdahl while he was held captive by the Taliban for 5 years, saying those statements are highly unreliable and prejudicial to their client. Bergdahl left his remote post in Afghanistan in 2009 and was subsequently held by the Taliban and its allies for about 5 years. The military probe of Bergdahl began soon after he was freed from captivity on May 31st, 2014, in exchange for 5 Taliban prisoners. The court-martial is scheduled for October. What I wouldn't love to be TDY to brag in October.
Right? Oh.
So.
Is that where he's at now? He's at Bragg?
Yes.
I thought he was still down at Sam Houston.
No. So he's at Bragg. He was reassigned there due to when he came back, and now that he's pending the court-martial.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it an open trial? Is it open to the public?
I have not seen that yet. However, I do suspect, especially if a former Navy SEAL will be testifying, I do suspect that some of the hearing to be classified and closed to the public and or closed to the general military populace, if that makes any sense.
Right? Super top secret squirrel missions and shit.
Hashtag space shuttle door gunner.
It's like the best of what's to shoot for now, apparently.
Right? Oh, especially with the Air Force saying that they're going to open up a Space Corps.
Space Corps.
Fucking
I had
idiots.
a good friend of mine. He made this really long, convincing Facebook post about how they're introducing 2 unique programs: the Orbital Drop Shock Troopers, aka ODSTs, and a Spartan program with an exosuit. I'm like, that's Halo. That I know that's Halo. But the way it was written, it was flawless. It gave me pause as the ultimate gamer nerd. I was, oh, you son of a bitch.
That's awesome. No, I can't wait. I'm so
Wait.
I'm honestly I know that there was that possibility of Bergdahl being pardoned.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Oh, I'm pretty sure a coup would have happened if he had been pardoned.
Let's hold on. Let's not use the wrong words here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
A coup was a pretty big thing that happened. However,
I played the disclaimer.
as long as you play the
fine.
disclaimer, then
I did. It's fine. It's fine. We can say whatever we want, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Freedom of speech and all that jazz or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, you have as I say that, you have violated the mixer morality status.
Right? You will be punished. Oh my God.
So here's the thing: had he been pardoned for any and all crimes he may or may have not committed while on active duty and or held in captivity, I don't think he would have survived much longer after getting that he was being released.
I mean, he definitely, but at the same time, I think he would have, because if he had been pardoned, they would have had to have put him into protective custody and into, like, you know, what is it?
Protective.
Yeah, protective. And, like, giving him fucking new identity, new everything.
Yeah, but where
They
are you
would
gonna
have
put?
had to.
Hey, Bowie. Yeah, your new name is John Smith. You're gonna be going to the middle of Minnesota. Don't you worry. Your nearest neighbor is 50 miles away. Don't you ever leave the property. We'll drop off groceries once a week. You'll be fine. Just don't ever show your face.
No, not Minnesota. They would have done better sending him to Wyoming. It's like the least populated state that we have.
That
Or North Dakota.
Send him to Antifa. They'd fucking love him. It's like, oh my God.
Right? Oh my God, he's our
Fucking
new
work with
hero.
the freedom fighters in Afghanistan.
God, the same way those Baggets mixer are worshiping Chelsea Manning. You're a hero. No, he's really not.
No, he's not.
My favorite.
Stefan.
My favorite.
Yeah. He kind of got a new identity. Yes, Manning did
Right?
kind of get a new identity.
Manning's just waiting for
New
his
identity.
dick to fall off.
New holes.
No, I don't. No, he hasn't. He hasn't had a full reassignment surgery yet.
Then shit, I got a profession for him to go into that will make millions. And
No, because military's not doing reassignment surgeries
Yet.
and I
Just
but
wait
with,
for that case to happen.
I mean, you know, I'm sure under a different president, yes, eventually the military will probably be doing reassignment surgeries. However, not with this one. And not under Mattis.
moving on past the dead horse.
Right?
Transgenders in the military.
You know, whatever. Like,
We've
just don't fucking transition while you're in. Like, I don't fucking care if you think that you're a chick. If you're a dude and you think you're a fucking chick, fine. What the fuck ever. Wait to transition until after you get the fuck out. Like, just fucking wait. It'll be fine. Like, I'm pretty sure the hormones are still gonna fucking be there. The fucking surgeons are still gonna fucking be there. It'll be fine. Just fucking wait.
I can see this now, that line just becoming into that, like, opening intro. Warning, results may vary. If you're transgender, please wait to transition until you're outside or before the military. If you do it while inside the military, it won't be covered. By the way, I can see that just being added now. Just like every single show I've been on, that line's been said.
Oh, true story, though.
It's too true.
You know, just fucking wait before you do it. Like, it'll be fine. Or do it before. Either way, fucking, but at the same time, you still have to be on, like, daily medications, and then you're not allowed in. So, guess you have to wait. I don't know what to tell you.
Sucks to suck.
Right? Sucks to suck. I don't know. But, like, ugh. No, because now I'm going to get going on fucking something that I read the other day.
No, I'm diverting. We've talked out transgenderism so much.
Are you scared?
Well, no. Okay,
No,
so
I'm just
no,
done.
like,
I'm
like, okay, KJ, you and I were talking before we even got on air. You and I were having a debate on socialized medicine, or sorry, a discussion.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. And the reason I bring this up is because the UK has socialized medicine. And the UK here recently has like that little baby that, you know, gained international attention because the parents had the money to pay for this kid to be flown to the States to receive more medical treatment that could have possibly saved this infant's life. But instead, the UK doctors said no. And it was no longer, somehow, for some reason, the healthcare given to an infant was no longer in the parents' control. But then I just saw an article, I think it was this last weekend, where a transgendered boy, so he was a boy who then transitioned into a female when he was 15, transitioned back into a boy when he was like 21, about 21, after becoming a prostitute because he was feeling suicidal. So he transitioned back to being a boy thinking like, oh, things are going to get better. And then now at 23 is making the transition back into a female. All under the government's expense. And
That shit don't fly.
Huh?
That shit don't fly. That doesn't fly well with me.
You know, and like, how come, like, you know, like, why is it okay that he gets to do this and like the government is funding his fucking hormone treatments, his fucking therapy? You know, this time around he's talking about getting his dick cut off, and he's in this mindset of like, oh, I can't wait to get pregnant and have kids. And it's like, you're male. Like, there is no possible way, biologically or physically, that you can get pregnant. It can't happen. It fucking can't happen. You don't have the right parts, right? And so, but why is it okay that the government funds that, but yet not allow parents to take over medical care for their fucking infant and say, hey, thank you for doing the best that you could do, but you know, we're gonna go and try new things at a different doctor or in a different country, who these doctors have said that they will accept our son and treat him.
Well, you're talking about the United Kingdom, which I know, other than going to London and staying at the Royal Horse Guards Hotel and getting drunk at the bar across the street, I know very little about, or going to Hereford to go airsofting. I know very little about London, about the United Kingdom and its politics and its its laws about medicine and the socialized healthcare they have there. But the one thing I do know about medicine, because oh God, I don't do my. If I was a doctor, I'd be that doctor that if I screwed up, like it was my screw up, I'd shoot myself because I screwed up. I caused that patient to die. I would go fucking off the deep end. I couldn't handle that responsibility. But I do know that in medicine here in the United States, the biggest issue presented us is who's paying. But the better question is, why does it cost so much? And that's what I was. That's the person who's getting the elective surgeries paid for by the government. That little twat waffle. First of all, congratulations. You've learned the loopholes. You've learned the ways around the system. Awesome. You're fucking the rest of us. and don't get it wrong. I was one of the. When there's a loophole and it's with the government, fuck yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
Hence, IRS injured spouse form for anyone that owes taxes. Look that shit up. But when you have too many people, when you have so many people finding this loophole, you have something that's obviously fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. When you have hundreds upon thousands of people that are able to sign up, not hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are able to sign up for low cost or free healthcare, and it's just an online setup, and there's no actual going in to check with somebody. That's where you have issues, and these people able to get away with things, and elective surgeries becoming, well, my feelings say it's necessary. That's some bullshit, you know, and it drives costs up because, once again, we're not, you know, it drives what we're paying up, and who's paying it, which leads to the insurance companies, which leads to lobbying, which leads to me saying that I hate all lobbyists. I think they all should get shot in the head, which then leads back to the original question: why the fuck does it cost so much? You know, that's the biggest thing. That family from the United Kingdom fled to the United States to get a surgery for their child, and whatever that surgery was, it wasn't fucking cheap. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the surgery was for?
That infant, it had a rare disease.
Yeah, you said rare. Yeah, their fucking wallets are devastated.
Yeah. So, and
Welcome
like,
to America.
but at the same time, they had the money to pay for it.
Yeah, and
to pay for this treatment, but because this infant was a UK citizen or whatever and was in the UK medical system, the doctors would not release this infant to go seek medical care in a different country or a different facility.
Well, there's a similar thing happening in the States here with that. Actually, in my backyard.
Oh.
There is a case going on right now where the doctors, two perfectly capable parents, not the ones that failed the IQ test, but perfectly capable parents here in Nashville, while one was there, the doctors were able to file with a family court and get custody of said child in the hospital, and now there is a father. The father is there, the mother is there, the police are there, the doctors are there, and it comes out that no one ever notified the parents there was a custody case.
Yeah.
So what happens? Because there's a court order saying X, but parent A and parent B were in the hospital since date A to date B through the court date. It's a common, like you said, doctors and nurses, they have a duty of care.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that duty of care also leads to some of them feeling, oh my God, I know what's fucking best for everyone. Veganism, as it's also known.
No.
But
no, that's not best for everybody. Bacon.
Yeah, but it's fucking it's one of those things of it gets to some of their heads, and they can do some outlandish things, and the best part is they're a fucking doctor or they're a fucking nurse making anywhere from $40,000 a year to $500,000 that can afford, hey, we should definitely sue for custody here, like what's going on at Vanderbilt Children's.
Interesting.
That's fucking the whole medical field. I hate to rip on your field, Minx.
Right.
The whole medical field
dick?
is rife with bullshit and lobbyists, and it drives me nuts.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's all about making money.
Yeah, but
especially if you work at a for-profit place. Do what?
It's no more about I went to the hospital a couple months back. It wasn't about the duty of care. It was how can you pay.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I had an insurance card. Oh, great! My wait time went from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. I got treated on right away. But the poor guy next to me, who definitely had a GSW, a gunshot wound, yeah, that motherfucker was still waiting out there and still went through triage.
I mean, if he didn't arrive by EMS, then obviously he's stable.
But yeah, it's a very obvious.
You know, I don't I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but I also understand the other side, and that especially if it is a for-profit hospital who have to find a way to pay their doctors.
It wasn't. That's the thing. It wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a theme I'm seeing reoccur. Oh yeah, it's a theme I'm seeing reoccur where I spoke about when we were talking privately, the charge master, which I fucking hate, where it dictates this is what you pay if you don't have insurance, but if you're a white male, if you're between this age bracket and this age bracket, you're paying this much. But if you have insurance, you're paying this much. But if you're female in this age bracket, you're paying this much. And why the fuck is a $20 neck brace $120 at Hospital A and $500 at Hospital B? That's here in my city. I go to Vanderbilt, I get a neck brace. God fucking help me. That's $500 plus the wait time in the ER, which I get charged for, plus the fucking wait time in the room, which I get charged for, plus $45 fucking dollars for a sponge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, do you want to know how much it costs for... Oh, Gray Cloud, you're on mute.
I say, and you can't even take that sponge home with you to use later.
No.
No.
God damn it.
If you really want to get pissed for being under anesthesia for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, is over $600, depending on where you are. And that's just to have a machine pump oxygen and gas into you.
I can understand anesthesia. $600.
No, that is $600 for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yes.
I can
Imagine
understand
an hour-long surgery, or even a 4-hour-long surgery. How much that's going to add up, and that's just anesthesia charges for some gas and some oxygen. Like, if you really want to get super pissed about medical costs, see what it fucking costed for a surgery. And I'm telling you, and going back to the different prices on everything. Perfect example, a total knee arthroplasty. It is literally 3 different parts that get implanted into you. Cemented into you. The femur, the tibia, and your patella. 3 parts. Depending on which company your doctor uses, because they don't all use different ones. They find a system that they really like, and that's the one that they stick with. Depending on which system that is, the price for those 3 parts can vary by up to $2,000.
See, what I don't understand is that it's my fucking body. We'll use your knee replacement. Mm-hmm. It's my fucking body that knee replacement's going into. Yes. Why the fuck can't I choose between which one I want? Like I'm choosing between a Toyota Camry, a Toyota Corolla, or a Toyota Prius.
I don't know.
Why the fuck can't I do that? Why can't I price shop?
Well, then I guess you better find different doctors that use different systems. I don't know what to tell you, because...
but then that comes in and I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of the country. But that comes in the next thing of, they're not allowed to tell me.
Right? Yeah,
how much. Which ties in the main non-disclosure agreement from the Department of Health and the American Medical Association, where it's a non-disclosure agreement where they can't disclose prices prior to service.
Right? Yeah.
Fuck.
No. Yeah. Mm.
So here's something to compare that to. And I brought this up when we were all before we all went on, is that, and I think it's ASE who is the standard bearers for auto mechanics and whatnot now, is there was price gouging going on well, there's still price gouging in the auto industry, let's be real. But they came up with a standard on how long it should take to replace something in a vehicle of that nature. So you'd get, if it's, we'll use an alternator. Okay. So if the book says it's 1.5 hours to replace an alternator, right? Then that's all the labor charge that can be done. So if it takes a shop, they got somebody good, it takes them 30 minutes, they're up an hour's worth of labor. If it takes a shop guy 2 hours to do it, 2.5 hours to do it, then they're out money. However, they cannot charge the customer any more than what the book says it should take. Now, if we were to apply that standard to the medical industry, could it be done? I.e., we'll go back to Minx's knee surgery here. That seems to be the flavor of the hour. Should a knee surgery take X amount of time based on X amount of factors and always be the same, i.e., standard is 1 hour to do a complete knee replacement. Okay. So all you can charge is your 1 hour, right? And those rates are set, and you know those labor rates going into the surgery. You know what it's going to cost. And then you could take your chances and you could shop it around, right? You could see if somebody had a better rate, labor rate and a parts rate, because I know you could go into like AutoZone and take your chances and do it yourself, or you could go find another shop who might not be as professional as the hospital that you're going to, and might be a little shady, but they they do good work. They've got like 4 and 5 star reviews, but it's more affordable. And you just take them the knee that you bought off of eBay and or Amazon or whatever it is. Say, yes, please install this.
That model wouldn't work.
I would highly recommend not doing that, though.
That really wouldn't work.
No, it really would not.
With a machine, there is no life or death. Even with a knee surgery, there can be a complication. You could, and I'm not medical, so Minx, please correct me. But God forbid, what if they, pinch whatever fucking arteries in there?
There's a major artery that runs right behind the knee joint. That has the potential. It has the extreme potential to get nicked, or cut all the way through. In which case, you now bleed out, because orthodocs are not vascular surgeons. They don't know what they're doing when it comes to repairing arteries. That's not their specialty. And if you're in a smaller hospital where you don't have vascular instruments, let alone a vascular surgeon, hopefully we can fly you out to a level 1 trauma in a fast enough time. Good luck, everybody.
But the issue is that each hospital, I brought up Charge Master, each hospital, and they could be literally right next to each other, and the same fucking company, each hospital can change the Charge Master and the prices based off of sex, age, insurance, no insurance, and the list of qualifiers is endless. And the worst part, it's a fucking book. It's not digitized. It's a book in some places. So they could just easily go in, erase one day a $4,000 surgery and make it a $5,000 surgery, and you're paying for everything using that on top of the knee replacement. I'd rather sit there and have an actual invoice from a doctor that says option A, B, or C. Dr. A can do A, Dr. B can do B, and Dr. C can do C. It's going to cost you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. That's everything. That'd be a lot easier on my head and my heart and my wallet than sitting there and getting charged $45 for a sponge, like at my hospital, $45 for a sponge, a $450 charge for sitting in the waiting room for less than 10 minutes, a $2,500 charge for fucking sitting in the patient room.
Mm-hmm.
There's no standards. But once again, kick a lobbyist in the nuts because they're the ones that push this through.
You want to hear something that really is going to piss you off?
I swear to God, I hate this fucking shit. Everything's go.
Okay, so
God damn it.
So almost a year ago, I was pregnant, right? And in a couple weeks, a year ago, a year ago, I found out that it was an ectopic pregnancy, so it was a tubal pregnancy, and I had to terminate it. Right? So that sucks, right? Because, fuck my life, right? Luckily we caught it before I had to go to surgery. Because, an ectopic pregnancy, if it's far enough along, that is a surgical emergency, in that your tube could rupture and then you're going to hemorrhage. And then it's just a big mess. And, you could potentially die from that. So luckily we caught it early enough. And so all they had to do was give me a shot of methotrexate, which, for those of you who don't know, that is a chemotherapy drug. And what that drug does is it kills rapidly reproducing cells like an embryo. That one shot cost over, like, I was in the they sent me from the clinic to the ER, and that short visit, it was literally like a 15-minute visit, cost over $1,500 to get a life-saving shot, so that way I would not have to go through emergency surgery.
That is the most ridiculous thing, because I bet you I will bet my top fucking dollar in my wallet that shot does not cost $1,500 to fucking produce or administer.
Of course not, but Big Pharma needs their money.
Fucking lobbyists, kick him in the nuts. I am going to address someone on the Facebook chat.
Yeah,
hey, Tyler, I just saw your comment, bro. Contest that shit. Show that to a fucking, hypothetically, I'm not a lawyer, hypothetically, what I would do, bring that to a lawyer and contest that shit, because they only charged you for the $175. If they billed you afterwards for something else, you don't owe them. Hypothetically, I wouldn't owe them shit if they charged me for that shit. Take that to a lawyer and verify that shit, dude, because I don't know the laws in your state. Been trying to, bro. I'll PM you.
Well, I have a situation when it comes to medical billing and things of that nature. I was in a situation with somebody I was seeing when I was a young soldier, and they had to have an emergency surgery, emergency gallbladder surgery, to be precise about it. So makes you have an idea.
I do. It's a lot. Did they have a really big incision, or did they have like 4 little ones?
4 little ones.
Okay, so laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Keep going.
So they had to do this. They did it. So, long story short, I rushed her to the ER. They performed the surgery. She was in ER visit, surgery, hospital stay for 3 days.
Oh damn.
Yeah. They kept her for 3 days.
Why so long?
Just to keep an eye on it, I guess. Mostly because it was at the point of rupturing. Removed it. So the thing that blew my mind about this whole situation, right, is, and it goes back to this ACA thing, and everything we're talking about is, people can't afford it, blah 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 blah. So I got the bill, about a week and a half later from the hospital. So I got 2 separate bills. I got a bill from the hospital, and I got a bill from the doctor.
Yep.
Okay. The bill for the doctor to perform the actual surgery itself, which, if I had to guess, is probably all of 30 minutes max, in and out.
As long as there weren't any complications, yes, from cut to close, it can be 30. It can be 30 minutes or less. As long as there's no complications, as long as there's a clear plane with the gallbladder and the liver, because if there's not, then it takes a long time.
Yeah, so I want to say it was 30 minutes. So I got the bill from the doc. We'll talk about that one first. Okay. $1,500. Mm-hmm. And I was lost.
Right. I'm in the wrong profession.
So we'll talk about that one really quick. So, again, I was a young soldier. We weren't married at the time. So she didn't have any insurance, and we arranged it with the doc's office, and we paid, what was it, $40 a month, I think, is what we worked out with the doc's office. Mm-hmm. They were good with that. We paid on that for 12 months. Okay, so we're not even halfway through it, and they closed it out, called us good. They said our account was good and in good standing, and we're closing it out. And that was it. So whatever they did, they wrote off the rest of it. The hospital I got the hospital bill, $20,000.
Holy fuck!
I have never seen a bill other than, let's see, at this time. Okay, yeah. So no, not even that time. So I had a bill for $20,000. Up in that point, I was a young Joe. I have never seen a bill for $20,000. Not even on a brand new vehicle I had bought. Okay. I hit my knees because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Aw.
I had no idea. I thought I was done. I thought everything I knew was over.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was it wasn't technically my bill, but I felt like I was a part of the situation. So we went to see I forget what they're called, but the paymeister, the billmeister, whatever, he was saying, or, accounts payable, receivable, whatever you want to call it there. Out of that $20,000, we ended up having to pay a whole whopping $108.
Oh, wow.
How did you get that how did you get out of that?
So it had to do, like with what you were saying, KJ, it had to do with a lot of her standing. We weren't married. She was single, unemployed at the time, technically, because she'd moved in with me and then like collapsed on the floor the next morning.
Oh my God.
Had I not come home to shower after a PT that morning, I probably would have came home to her being dead on the floor. So out of that, and I don't know what the math is they use or how they did it, but basically the state of Colorado ended up, with the majority of it. So for people to say that they can't go get help or, an emergency or whatever, I find to be total bullshit. Mostly because of the Hippocratic Oath that docs take, that medical experts take, or medical professionals take. So to deal with that is really interesting. I would sell for $20,000. I would sell my mom's ears. Thank you, Deadly Elite, for that piece of information. We know now where to get $20,000.
Right.
So say there's no money out there, to say there's no ability for that people to get help or get whatever, is I find to be total bullshit.
Medicaid. All right, two things. So like you don't have insurance, you're fucking absolute. You don't have insurance, you're screwed. You go to an ER visit. Two things. A, you can rest assured, and it's one of the few things I agree with President Obama doing. Medical bills are no longer counted against your credit. Thank fucking God. And B, if you're in that situation, you don't have Medicaid, fucking apply. Jesus Christ. What is it? 38 or 40 states coincide with the ACA, so it's fucking easy to get Medicaid. Granted, there's loopholes out the fucking ass, so shit, if you make $150,000, you probably could still get fucking Medicaid if you just wrote it all off as fucking donations. But fucking seriously, like, yeah, if you don't have medical insurance, like I got out of the Army, I wasn't in school, I was freaking the fuck out. Medicaid, I had Medicaid for 2 months, and I was in school, and I was back in insurance because ACA, parents' health care, oh hey, cheaper, which I paid part of the premium. I did not fucking mooch off my parents. I paid my share, but still, it's fucking. There's stuff you can use. There's facilities, and most hospitals now, at least in my area, are helping people sign up and get Medicaid, or in my state, TennCare. Fucking lobbyists kick them in the balls. Right. Damn it.
Man.
I really want to ask Beast Chicken, who looks like a sloth from the Goonies, but a transgender version. Who are you talking to or about? Because I don't know how to take that.
I hope he's talking about me.
They can't see you.
You.
Exactly.
I
might look like a sloth from the Goonies, but a transgender version. How did they know?
I think he's talking to Deadly Elite, maybe? I don't know. Oh, he's looking in the mirror. Okay, well, you have fun with that. I'm so sorry we got distracted. But hey, no, it's a good time because it's time for another break. So, right? We'll be back.
Smoke him if you got him.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, we shall be back here shortly. So yeah, everybody stay tuned, and we'll be back in like 7 minutes. See you guys then. Oh, shit.
Take this photograph, tell me what it is you see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you, because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain, and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? Will I make it home alive? Should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know like I'm breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see today. In a constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media portray me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat. They spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait, what? No. The fuck, get your ass back here. I swear to God, I will find you.
You're in it for the long haul now, man.
Right? Sucks to suck, nerd. You applied for this.
I'll just go back to my hole and read my Halo books.
Right?
Mm.
But yeah, so that was a good second hour. Okay, so you know how our president likes to tweet about everything?
Like a teenage girl, yes.
Yes. Like that is his method of communication to, everyone, right? So apparently there was a mosque in, what was it? Minnesota? Twin Cities, right? Minnesota? Or is that Michigan?
Minneapolis, St. Paul, I think, is in Minnesota, I think.
Right. Minnesota. So apparently a mosque was bombed on Saturday. And what is it? Muslim leaders are still waiting for Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, bitches, to condemn this bombing against a mosque. And pretty much the article goes on to say that, even though President Trump has been tweeting, throughout the weekend, one topic he's yet to address is this mosque attack. And all these Islamic leaders in the Twin Cities area are wondering why he hasn't done that. And so this mosque, which is in the Twin Cities suburb of Bloomington, several people there were gathering for prayer or whatnot. Nobody was injured, but yet it has left the community shaken and feeling unsettled. And the Department of Homeland Security has released a statement stating that it was its acting secretary, Elaine Duke, was, quote, aware of the explosion and that the agency is in close contact with investigators and community leaders. Quote, the Department of Homeland Security, fully supports the rights of all to freely and safely worship the faith of their choosing, and we vigorously condemn such attacks on any religion or any religious institution. We are thankful that there were no injuries, but that does not diminish the serious nature of this act. So my whole thing is, I don't care. I know this is gonna sound like, I know this makes me sound like really callous or whatnot, but I don't care. Because any other attack, if you had reversed the roles, I've yet to see a leader of that faith condemn that attack. I know I'm not saying that no one ever has. I'm just saying I've never seen it. So I don't care if he hasn't condemned shit.
You can't... Okay, dissenting opinion. Here it comes. You can't be a president, you can't be a world leader, in my opinion. And you can't just take the good with the bad. You can't just sit there and acknowledge that all Muslims are bad and that all Christians are good and all Jews own all the property in the United States.
But you do.
But the issue is, were they terrorists? Were the people that were at the mosque, however many or who was there, were they terrorists?
By definition, yes, because they inspired terror amongst the people who went there.
I was talking about the Muslims. I'm sorry. I was going somewhere else. No, yes. No, people that perpetrated, yes, they're terrorists.
You were talking about the
Okay.
people who attended who attend the mosque.
Yeah,
if
the
they're
victims.
terrorists.
The victims.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter.
Well, the current issue is he's not condemning the terrorist attacks. It was performed by whomever. Who was it performed by? Has anyone claimed it yet or no?
No, no one's claimed it.
Okay, so I'm just going to go on a limb here and take a wild personal guess and say either Christian or Jewish extremists, white people, or just Americans. I don't
White
fucking
devils. know.
They need to be condemned. They need to be hunted down because that is not tolerated in this country. With our First Amendment, freedom of religion. You are free to practice your religion here. That does not protect you from the consequences of practicing said religion. But those consequences shouldn't involve, fearing for your fucking life. So,
I mean,
those
it goes both ways though. You know, San Bernardino, freaking Orlando.
correct.
Club
Absolutely
Pulse.
correct.
Why were there no why was there no outcry or of
But
anyone
just because-
like from Muslim leaders condemning those attacks?
But just because they don't condemn it doesn't mean our president should not condemn those who commit the acts against.
But
The
they're
first
both
one.
leaders.
Doesn't matter. Be the bigger man here. If I came
But
up
they're
and,
both
and
leaders.
punched GC in the face, I would expect you to say, Phil, you're a fucking shitbag for punching. KC, you're a shitbag for punching GC in the face.
I mean,
You know.
rude, 1. 2, he's a big boy. He can handle himself. But again, rude. How dare you attack my co-host?
Well, he wouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons with me anyway.
I knew you were a closet D&D guy.
Druid for life, bruh. No, JK.
But
It's
are you?
Diablo.
But no, I mean,
You can't just hold where President Obama did with San Bernardino and the Pulse nightclub shooting. He did not call it for what it was. It does not excuse our president and we don't know who the perpetrators are yet. So if they are white, it does not excuse him from doing the same thing as saying these guys do not represent us. They're fucking horrible people. We have to be accountable for all the bad and all the good of our country. We can't just cherry pick the good and bad, or else this country is not going to be great. We're not all fucking white people or black
What do you mean
people.
cherry pick it? That happens all the time.
There we go.
You see the cherry picking happening from both sides.
yeah.
The best example recently I can give is when they say that President Trump did not interact with that boy in the wheelchair or whatever at whatever it was going on at the White House. He passed over him, which isn't the fucking case. He started with that young man in the wheelchair. But yet they would have you believe that he paid him no mind or no attention and skipped over him like he was beneath him. So don't say we don't fucking cherry pick. And both sides are not doing it. But both sides are doing it.
Yeah.
It's a matter of you can't. I personally could not in good conscience condemn one party for the actions of a few.
So let's hold on. Let's stop with that statement real quick. We cannot condemn an entire party, race, nation, creed, religious sect, whatever, for the actions of a few, right?
Correct.
But yet, those people who are anti-gun, and I hate to bring this point up, but it's got validity here, want to condemn the entire NRA and every law-abiding citizen who legally and responsibly owns firearms for the very, very small act of a few. Because it's the gun that's the problem, not the individual. So don't tell me we can't blame an entire sect for the actions of a few, because it happens both ways.
Correct. But I said I personally. I wasn't talking, and I'm speaking as if I was the president. I will hold those who did what. If I was in his shoes, I would call out who was responsible. I would say, go fuck yourself, you're a shitbag. I would say, I'm sorry that happened to you, because who the fuck wants to get bombed? I'm sure shit don't want to walk in my house with a fucking brick of C4 at the door. Just like I would assume no one else here would.
What?
But the harsh reality is, you don't come to the United States expect if you want to go live in a country where you want to get bombed, fucking Syria, fucking parts of the Ukraine, we I hear there's some things going down in Africa. Go fucking there if you want to live getting bombed there. But the United States, pretty much, we don't really have, bombings happening every day, war zone shit like that.
No, but then But for the last 8 years, that kind of shit has been on the rise.
And you're absolutely right.
And to the point where, and like even in the UK and in Europe, like look at fucking Europe, and like just today, Brussels was under attack again.
And is Brussels calling out who did it or no?
I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm sure they will. Or if they don't, someone's gonna claim responsibility for it. But still, but yet their leaders, especially the last couple attacks in London or like in the UK, whatever, same fucking difference, honestly. Their fucking London's mayor said, this is the price of like what it is to live in a big city. It's like, no. That's not something that you should fucking expect to encounter just because you live in a big city. Like, no. Like, you're in the fucking UK. We're not in Iraq. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah, and it's you don't come to, like she said, you don't come to fucking London. You don't come to fucking Baltimore. Well, okay, hold on. There is Navient in Baltimore, so people do want to burn Navient down. You don't come to Nashville. You don't come to New York to get fucking bombed, to get attacked. Yeah, that shit is on the rise, as you said, but it's on the rise because and it's the division again. We as a country are too busy trying to find blame with each other instead of looking at the real issues in front of us. And this is the law student in me coming out of, motherfucker, we have tax issues, we got healthcare issues, we got fucking a lobbyist issue, we got a fucking problem with goddamn buying a car. Why the fuck are we not fucking nipping this shit in the ass, every single one of us? Because in 2001 we didn't have these fucking problems. I remember that year very fucking clearly in New York. We didn't have these fucking problems in New York until fucking September. We fucking, every issue, bam, and then September hit. And the year after, 2 years after, no fucking problems. Hell, probably till 2005, 2006, we didn't really have fucking insanity. But now everyone's fucking looking for, well, this and my feelings and the liberals and the conservatives and the fucking Nazi, Antifa and the Nazis. There's so many fucking groups, Jesus Christ, I can stick my hand up my ass, pull out a wad of shit, and there'd be less bacteria on that piece of shit than there are as many different fucking interest groups in this fucking country. I mean, all with an opinion, all who differentiate, and all want to place blame. If President Trump should declare that this was an act of fucking terrorism performed against people of his country. Be it Muslim, Jewish, Christian, fucking Hindu, or fucking even North Korean immigrants that fucking immigrated here legally. Defectors, there we go, bing. You don't fucking attack Americans and expect to get away with it. Sorry, I'm on a fucking heated roll today. I'm like, fuck, I hate everything. I'm so sorry for being so intense.
No, dude, you're good.
Nobody likes you. It's okay.
All right, I'm just going back to the corner
Rude.
now.
Great Cloud, rude.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? Got to a form for that. Hold on.
Space.
Okay, there it is.
God. Yeah, so bad.
So, KJ, I see your point somewhat. That it should be condemned by leadership. Yes, it sends a strong messages of unity that we don't tolerate this kind of garbage in our nation. I also see Minx's point that where is the condemning of it from those,
right?
Yes.
Ha.
And those sects and the leaders of those sects to condemn it right away as well, right? They want to go and they want to place blame, or they want to look at, well, why hasn't so and so said anything about it? Who the fuck cares? What should be the priority is identifying the assholes that did it. Right? That should be the priority. The community looking for targets, looking for assholes to find and bring to justice. Who the fuck cares who has said what so far to this point?
Honestly, I'd rather find the assholes that did it so they don't do it again.
Exactly. And then why is that not fucking happening? Why is that not the focus? No, the focus is, the president hasn't fucking said this is bad, blah, 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 blah. I talk like Scout. But, it's driving me nuts because that's the focus. What was the focus after 9/11? Going after the fucking assholes that did it. Not fucking, we need to make sure that the right blame gets placed on the right individuals for this. No, let's go get the motherfuckers and lay waste to them.
If we had something like Hammurabi's Code, where you performed an act of terror against someone, and it was an automatic, immediate, we found you, sorry, buddy, it's in the public square of D.C., and it wasn't quick, and it wasn't painless, yeah, people would think twice. But we don't have that. We have a system. We are a country of laws. Finding these people, and God bless the FBI agents that are working on it, because I know FBI is working on it. Fucking God help those agents, because they're gonna have to make that call of, and they have to go on the call of, we got to try to bring them in alive. And the message we're constantly sending is, we are a nation of our laws. As much as I'd love for us to be able to go in and send that hard message of slit in the throat and let the person wobble on the fucking stand, we're a nation of laws, and we have to try to apprehend them alive so they can have their day in court in front of a jury. Which isn't always the best thing, but that is what our country is about. And like I said, I can't take all the bad. I can't take all the good without the bad.
No, and you know what? And that's something, from my time and seeing my Joes go through it in personal situations. Due process, man. Without due process, we're a lost nation. Due process is everything. Mm-hmm. And I will totally agree with you, and I will cede that point to you and be on your side on that every single day. However, as a comedian I heard once say, if there should be an explicit law in there or written into somewhere that if there are more than three eyewitnesses that say they saw what you did, you get an express lane right to the chair.
I don't know how many times I've seen eyewitness testimonies. Everyone's seen my cousin Vinny. That's the greatest example of like how reliable eyewitness testimonies are. It's like, how many fingers am I holding up?
Well, that depends. How many fingers are on your hand?
Yeah, but you can't answer that on the stand. But it's just one of those things of just, oh my God, so many eyewitness testimonies just been shot down. Like I was reading about one that was just so ridiculously shot down. But I'm detracting. If you're caught in the act by a cop, you should be fucked. I believe that. If you're caught in the act by a cop or an FBI agent, you should be fucked.
What if it's planted?
Good point. But you have to prove that. I mean, if they're not resisting arrest and they're like, it's planted, like, oh my God, I just walked in, like O.J. Simpson, my wife is dead. and it was quote unquote, we're saying it's planted for this. Please don't sue me, OJ.
No, don't worry. I played that disclaimer. You're fine.
Then yeah, okay, cool. Have your day in court. But if you're if a cop or an FBI agent walks in on a dude nailing a 9-year-old, I don't think you can frame being balls deep in a 9-year-old or reverse. That's a very immediate. Yeah, no, I can understand the whole. Yeah, that's an immediate no. Bye bye. I hate to go into such explicit, but
No, that's a good. I like that. I like that rule. We'll call it a rule.
A rule.
OJ is getting out in Ford. He's bringing back the Bronco.
Yeah. Oh my God, have you seen
that
it?
Was awesome, Mr. Pod.
Now, the lines on the new Bronco look quite nice. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, that new Bronco though. Like I know we're completely switching subjects, but oh my God, that new Bronco looks so good.
I remember being a kid, and my mom and dad in New York had a Bronco, and when we first moved down to our home, my teenage home in Florida, we still had a Bronco, and those things were so comfortable and so nice. Going camping out of it. Oh.
My grandpa owns a 74 Bronco, and it is like this powder blue with tan interior and like a white roof. And I keep telling him that, I should get it because I'm his favorite. And he's never denied it, but he also, hasn't confirmed it, but I'm pretty sure I'm his favorite, so I'm hoping. Come on, Papa.
Your grandpa is going to give you a Bronco. My grandpa gave me ascots and ties.
He's also got a 52 Chevy, which is like this bright cherry red. Oh, that's a good looking truck too. And I think that's going to one of my uncles. So I'm hoping all of us grandkids and all the grandkids want this Bronco. But I keep throwing it in his ear like, "Hey Papa, I get the Bronco, right?" And he laughs and he's like, "Yeah, of course." I'm like, "Yes." So I'm I'm sure if I say it enough, then, I'll get it. But at the same time, I don't want that to happen anytime soon because, my grandpa has been, a father figure for me. So, yeah, I'll be devastated. He's not allowed to go at all. He's not allowed.
It's all about messaging.
Huh?
It's all about messaging at this point, then.
Right? Oh my God. No, he's not allowed to go anywhere. I'll be devastated.
Anyway.
But yeah, right? Back to the subject at hand. My face itches. It does.
Maybe you're allergic to something in the air.
Right? I don't know. All right. So I saw something today. I saw something, a while ago about the Marines doing a mixed gendered unit versus an all male unit.
Oh, that's so old.
And the all male unit smoked the shit out of the mixed gender one, right? Which, whatever, everyone knew that was going to happen. However, today I saw an article about the Marines putting females into basic training on the West Coast because everyone knows as of right now, only female Marine training station for boot is at Parris Island. And then males are divided between Parris Island and Pendleton in San Diego. So now they're talking about starting up female training in San Diego to hopefully immerse these males to to immerse these males into being familiar with working with females, I guess, because apparently this is rather hard for men to do somehow. I don't understand that. But yeah, it says so if approved by senior Marine leaders, the change could happen as soon as next spring, and it could be the first step in a broader campaign to give male Marines who do their initial training on the West Coast the opportunity to work with female colleagues early in their career. Marine leaders are also considering allowing women to attend boot camp at Pendleton. Currently, all women, like I said, all women recruits go through Parris Island, while males go to either there or San Diego, also known as Camp Pendleton. Marine leaders have come under persistent criticism from members of Congress because the Corps is the only military service to separate men and women for portions of their boot camp. And only the Marine Corps allows half of its recruits to go through initial training without any female colleagues. Because there are only a small number of female Marines, they all go through boot at Parris Island, where they are separated from men for portions of the training. Congress members have been highly critical of that policy and demand changes, and the Corps has been reviewing the issue. Marines have argued that the separation from men is needed so that women can become more physically competitive before joining their male counterparts. They also have argued that it gives the female Marines the support they need during their early weeks of boot camp. Women make up 8.4% of the Marine Corps, and that is the smallest percentage of all the armed services. And then the article goes on and on and on and on and on.
It's the article that never ends.
Yeah, no, it really was. I was like, I'm not reading this whole thing. It's not happening.
This has been beaten over for the past fucking year.
Oh, about women and men training together?
It's gonna happen. I mean, it is, but I don't know. I don't know anything about the Marine Corps.
Right? I should, considering, two of my brothers went through it. I should know a little, but they both went through Pendleton, so.
When I was in high school, we did a JROTC trip to Parris Island, and I don't remember seeing a lady there at all, and this was back in 2008. But then my current wife's ex-sister-in-law went to she graduated from Parris Island, so I don't fucking know. Good bully for the Marine Corps for trying to find a solution. I mean,
right, good job.
Congress is pissed. You done your job again, Marines.
Right, good. Right. Oh no, Congress is pissed. I don't know. Maybe it's because I went through basic with it was co-ed. I don't see the big deal about it being co-ed the entire time, but
you think it might have something to do with every Marine is a rifleman? That belief, because if you think about it, you have male and female. We've talked about before, male and female, two different body types, two different everything. I could see the logic in the statement of more competitive. It just, I don't think that would be a good blanket statement, because I mean, shit, my wife, if there's one cookie left, my wife is racing me to it. She usually wins because she'll, she's a massage therapist, so she'll Spock me, and I'll be down twitching.
Yeah.
I don't know. GC, you got anything, brother?
So I went through basic in '99.
Oh. Wait. I'm sorry. When?
99. No.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
And I went through basic at Jackson, which was an integrated basic training. And the mentality was you were supposed to look at the female soldiers that were in your basic training company as equals and treat them as such. However, the emphasis was you were not allowed to engage with them one-on-one, i.e. if you were a male soldier and that was a female soldier, unless they had a battle buddy or you had a battle buddy to engage him. So like if they got dropped or whatever, they fucked up and you had to get them out of the AO from the drill sergeant, whatever you want to call it, you couldn't engage them directly. And I asked that question specifically to a drill sergeant when something like that had happened, and I was the only other soldier around at the moment. And I was told I couldn't help her or help that female soldier with her situation because I was a male and there wasn't another battle buddy there. I said, and I asked him, but we're supposed to treat them as equals, and how does that work when we get to a real unit? Do I need somebody? He goes, well, that's something you have to deal with down the road. So they pushed it off like they don't want to deal with it. And this is pre all this other sharp garbage that we deal with now. So I find it very interesting that they want the equality and they want all this garbage, but yet nobody's really willing to address it in a way for everybody to be truly equals, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. I mean, I went through it in 2004, and I went to Leonard Wood. Ugh. And no, we had the same thing. Like, you could not engage with the opposite sex unless especially as females, you had to have at least one, if not two, like female battle buddies. But if you did engage a male, they needed a battle buddy as well. Like, so, and then going off into like the fucking woods or whatever, like your battle buddy teams could be either like you and one other person of the same gender, or you and two members of the opposite gender, which I don't know how safe that would make a chick feel walking around in the woods at night with two men who haven't been laid in a long time. So I never understood how that one worked.
Okay, that's...
Maybe one would have a better moral compass than the other. I don't know.
That would be the most... I can see legally... Here it comes. I can see legally why they had the 2-to-1 ratio at least of two of one sex and then one of the other, because then you can sit there and say, "Oh, well, I was with Private so and so," or if you were a lady, "Oh, I was with Private so and so."
Oh, hey.
Boom. It's, you've got someone covering your ass. Cover your ass at all times. But it, to me, as an infantryman, that just I mean, I just want dudes. I just said dudes. There was nothing else but guys. We cuddled up when it was cold. It was the fucking middle of the winter. I mean, what the fuck? The equality shit needs to fucking get solved. Just literally fucking open bays, open bathrooms. Just, we all know what they look like. We've all watched porn. Starship Troopers. There we go. Get Dizzy and fucking Rico in there. Dizzy's still attractive after all these years. Boom. She can lead the charge.
So you're talking about like open showers for male and female?
Yeah, and then let the first time and this is where a capital punishment I think would be highly appropriate. The 34 crash courses is what Robert Heinlein refers to it in the books. Let the first time happen where someone inappropriately touches a lady or a man. See what happens. Because if you look at that world, there's no citizenship until unless you serve, and blah 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 blah, which I'm not saying is a good thing. But lashing is a common punishment. The punishments in that book and in that movie are severe enough that they teach a valid lesson. Wood line adjustments. We know what kind of wood line adjustments we're talking about, not the 1, 2, 3, more of the 1, 2, 3, you're out. Those are common in the movie and the book. Those but that's a whole fucking different thing. We're dealing with a genocidal enemy, so I don't fucking know.
I have to completely disagree with you on the whole open bay, open showers for male and female.
I know. I'm not good with this whole equality thing here. I don't have a good answer.
No, it has nothing to do with I don't know if it does or not, but it's more along the lines of assault. And yeah, you can say, first time something happens, capital punishment. That's not always how it goes, because it turns, especially if there's no one around to witness said assault, it turns into a he said, she said. So then it turns into who do you believe?
Let the fear be. I mean, the easiest solution to that, and if we're going off of Starship Troopers, the easiest solution to that would be using Minx and myself. Minx says I do something, then I say Minx did something. Oh, guess what? We're both getting lashes, and we're both kicked out for being liars. Even if one of us is telling the truth, there's no way to ascertain the truth.
So then,
and examples must be made. I don't have a good answer for this. I'm just going off of a fucking book and movie. I was in the infantry. We had 120 fucking dudes all nut to butt all the time. So,
because I mean, like you can't ignore the fact that assault happens, because it does.
You're completely correct.
Because you're talking to someone who's fucking survived it and gone through it more times than she would like to fucking admit.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why it's like I'm really kind of passionate about this, is because again, I've fucking been through this. Learn more about Minx tonight. So the whole thing, as far as the first time something happens, capital punishment, it would, especially because depending on, it's all about someone's fucking mentality. And
yeah,
can most 18-year-old men be able to look at naked women and not want to act on that?
I did. I did not. Shit. When the sign of the strip club said, "Do not touch the ladies, make room for Jesus," you bet your sweet ass. I'm serious here. I did not touch the ladies, because and that's just personal experience here. I was in a state that didn't have make room for Jesus.
That was a sign. It wasn't.
If it's, I'm when I have a son, because I know my wife is going to give me a son, because I already have a daughter, so my luck's going to run out and I'm going to get a little mini me. But he's going to be raising, don't you fucking dare. Permission. Ask. Consent. Important fucking words that have literal meanings, and no always means fucking no. But at the same time, you need to know and be careful of, this, and this, which leads to the cry wolf scenarios, etc. Because law students see them all the time.
No, don't get me wrong, and I completely agree. I understand that there are bitches out there who fucking cry rape when that's not what fucking happened, and they're just doing it because for whatever reason that guy somehow offended her or wronged her on an egotistical level.
Buyer's remorse.
I understand that, and I can't stand shady bitches like that, because it's already hard enough to get it's already hard enough as a rape victim to come forward and say, I've been assaulted. Help me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do. Again, personal story. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I went to my fucking NCO and I said, this happened to me last night. I don't know what to do.
And he responded, she responded, oh shit. And
she responded exactly with, oh shit, because at the time it was 2007. I was almost 21, and it there wasn't a whole lot of no, it's fine. It's fine. I've gone through so much therapy over this. It's fine. I really have a lot of therapy has helped me through this. But at the time, there wasn't a whole lot of training or information out there as far as what to do, right? So it really was an oh shit, I don't fucking know what to do. Help me. Like, you know, I was fucking attacked in my fucking barracks room. I don't know what to fucking do. Like, I'm freaking out right now, right? And so, my situation was that my neighbor in the barracks had done it. And, because I told my NCO that was an automatic,
Restricted.
informal or unrestricted reporting, right? Because I told not a medical provider and not a religious personnel. So automatically it was unrestricted, and I didn't know that. So then I went to, like, my NCO took me to my command, because in her, like, experience, like, you know, if a soldier brings an issue to you, you take it, and you can't handle it, or, like, as a leader, you can't
Yeah, you move
fix
it up
it
the
yourself. You go to the next level. And so that's what she did. She did what she thought was right. And, you know, like, I still talk to her to this day. She and I are good friends. But, like, my chain of command, because I did not want to press charges, because, again, like, I knew that if I did that, everyone would fucking know, because I was in a small unit. Everyone would fucking know, and I didn't want people to know what happened to me. You know, because it goes back into, like, this whole, like, victim blaming mentality, right? Like, well, obviously I did something wrong to have this happen to me. And so the way, like, my chain of command handled it was wrong. And so, like again, it goes back to the point where, you know, it's hard enough for a female to come forward and want to press charges, and then after that to even get, like, a guilty verdict, because majority of victims, like male and female, majority of the victims don't come forward.
Well, let's take a step into this process and talking about male and female integration in basic training. We'll use the hypothetical. In both cases, male recruit, female recruit, victim and perpetrator, female recruit, male recruit, victim and perpetrator. Automatically, that female victim automatically is put in the most awkward of positions with the police.
Dude.
Because they have to ask them, what were you wearing? And imagine being in basic training and you would say, I was just wearing my uniform. Or I was just taking a shower. I mean, there's no easy answer to solving integration in a basic training unit, because you're going to have those 18-year-old boys and girls that are still boys and girls instead of young men and young women. And that falls back also on the parents for not raising the children properly. You're going to have issues. But if you find a way to make not only the victim feel safe, male or female, and feel comforted and be able to get to the truth of the matter, whether it is a real accusation or a false one, and be able to find and still ask the same questions, because you have to ask, what were you wearing? Were you drinking? Did you plan to be there from this point on, this time to this time? You have to ask these questions.
Oh yeah, no,
because
I got the fucking third degree from my first sergeant and commander at the time. Well, what were you wearing? Well, let's see. I was fucking in my bed, so I was wearing my pajamas. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? And then it turned into, well, why did you answer your door? Because someone fucking knocked on my goddamn door, like, and they were pounding on it, right?
They did not understand how to. This was a situation where they needed to stop and call the military police, who actually had the proper fucking training, and to ask the questions in the right order so that they could ease and the fucking the money that's gone into to helping victims and fight and rooting out false accusers at the same time. The question process, it's invasive and it's rude and it's crude.
Imagine the medical exam, dude.
Oh yeah, and
I've never gone through that, because, like, I was either a victim of like the the first time it happened, fuck my life, right? So
Jesus Christ, Meeks, oh my God, please don't, please, I'll burst out in tears.
So the first time it happened, right? I was 20. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. As soon as it was over, I showered because, I felt dirty and I felt violated, right? Because I was violated. Fast forward a couple years, and it was not like a spousal rape because like I wasn't married, but it was an ex-boy, or it was a guy I was dating at the time.
Familiar.
Yeah. And he would it was a very, very abusive relationship, both like verbally, mentally, emotionally, and then it turned into like a sexually abusive relationship. And that I would be, curled up, like crying, saying like, no, don't, like, stop, don't, no. Right. And he would do his thing and then like give me a kiss on the cheek and then roll over right after he was done. Sorry, I'm like shaking right now. But yeah. And so like every time that happened, I had to like I almost mentally talked myself out of it. Like, no, this didn't happen to me, like I'm dating him, like we're together. He wouldn't do that to me, And so like I never reported it and I never really told anyone about it. Dude, imagine my fucking surprise when I'm like ETSing out of the army, like I'm fucking clearing, and CID calls me up one day and says, hey, we need to talk to you. I'm like, well, fuck, what the fuck did I do, right? And I get blindsided with, we need to ask you about this person and what he did to you. And it's like, how do you know this? Because I never told anybody. And yeah, so that was a fun like 18 hours in CID.
It's an invasive line of questioning, but if you have it, and I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I am so sorry. Jesus fucking Christ. I could not. Okay, KJ going to get personal. My ex-wife never got declared in court, but she had all the signs of an emotionally abusive woman. Now, I showed all the signs of the battered army husband of let's go to therapy, let's go see the therapist, blah 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 blah, let's go see the fucking chaplain, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make it work. She was a fucking dependent. Now, moving past that, the line of questioning that is done in the criminal justice environment, even though it makes a person feel dirty, it makes a person feel, relive the experience, and taking it to that, back to center topic, the basic training unit, what happened and how you felt uncomfortable about reporting it, how your first sergeant or CO were berating you. If that happened in today, the IG would have a field day. Or even then, the SJA would have a fucking field day, because there's policy and procedure that is set in place of you don't fucking berate, you don't fucking, treat them like they, they're, how dare they, because you don't know, and the mind is so fucking malleable and fragile that even if someone concocted a well enough lie, or it was an actual thing that happened, if you break that reality for the person in any way, shape, or form, where they have the reality of being a victim or the reality of being a very good liar, it can damage the psyche and damage the effectiveness of the person. And that's why, like, in a basic training environment, if you use not capital punishment, that was the wrong term. You can't kill somebody, but you make it known that you are safe, that you are protected, that you are amongst family, and that is something iterated. Even though they call you fucking maggots and fucking sod and fucking shit like that, but you make a person feel like there is someone watching over them, and I'll go back to fucking Starship Troopers because it's a good fucking example. Their their company commander, Sergeant Zim, he let every one of his recruits know he was looking out for them, and his own failures caused one of his recruits to get the axe.
Yeah.
But there was no, because they knew if they disobeyed Sergeant Zim, the fear of God, they knew what would happen. And we don't have a system in place yet for the two sexes to be in the same place without the cover your ass model.
Yeah.
Everything is based around the cover your own ass. You're in it on your own. And that's the wrong thing to put out there. Two people of the one sex and one person of the opposite, or 2 and 2. Covering your own ass does not promote safety. It promotes fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it protects those higher up than you. Yeah, I fucking do it at my work, and fucking my wife does it at her work, and fucking I know people do it in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Cover your ass doesn't promote safety. It promotes fear. Because what if you don't cover your ass? Then it's your fucking ass on the line,
right.
and not.
And then it's your fault.
Yeah, you can't, and that's part of that mentality. You can't already have the blame placed with a policy of cover your ass 2 and 1 or shit like that. Because it's going to take, once again, time, education, and parents stop being little shitbags and teaching kids how to fucking twerk and fucking do it for the vine. Fucking teach them how to fucking be a man and be a young man and be a young woman. So when they do join the military, they can be fucking respectable and decent human fucking beings instead of some of the half this fucking shitbags I saw. Or you had to fucking deal with, which, goddamn it, Ray, I need that fucking 4-iron. I'm pissed. Y'all got me from like, all right, I'm a little heated. I fucking slept all day. I'm cranky. I just woke up. No fucking coffee. Oh, I'm pissed. My gamer tag ends with dad. And I'm like, oh, no. Brother.
See, but no, the other cause is dad. That's
yeah, when I got that dad mentality, I'm a father myself. So I'm like, oh. Which, by the way, where the fuck's my child support, Padre?
Right? Well, how much was it? 300 and some
as
odd
of
50?
Today, as of today, it is $387,500. It's been less than a week, so come Friday it'll be a full 387K. I was expensive, man.
Apparently, you went to private school and everything.
Bruh. Susio? I'm so butchering your name. We're talking about fun stuff.
It was a intense last 15 to 20 minutes.
Right? Fuck. Okay, so I want to kind of end this on like a what the fuck thing, and like not people feeling sorry for me, I guess.
I don't feel sorry for you. I just feel I'm here for you, stepsister,
or whatever. So apparently in South Carolina, because reasons, they put out a notice that says if you see Bigfoot, quote, please do not shoot. South Carolina police say after North Carolina sighting.
That's what they have to put that out to not shoot at the Bigfoot.
Weren't we just talking about this? Like, no one has seen Bigfoot in a long time. Like, what's happened to him? Well, apparently, over the weekend, Bigfoot was sighted in McDowell County, North Carolina. And this has prompted police in Greenville, South Carolina, to issue an official public safety warning. Do not shoot at the Bigfoot, they ask. If you see Bigfoot, please do not shoot at him/her, as you'll most likely be wounding a fun-loving and well-intentioned person sweating in a gorilla costume.
That's now. Jimbo, what we're gonna do today? We're gonna fucking go after that Bigfoot man. We're gonna be fucking doing everything we can and fucking shoot him all. What we're gonna use 30 round, baby. Gonna use that. Hey, you got my bow on? Oh, I got them natty ices. Yup.
Natty ices.
Right. Oh my god.
Can Cue the Deliverance theme.
Right. Shit.
Banjo music. There you go.
Oh, I've got
All I
that
can think
somewhere.
about with a guy in a suit is the fucking... All I can think about is the deer. Whenever I think of a guy in a suit, I think of the deer suit from Super Troopers. Like, I hope a guy gets like a gorilla suit and does fucking that in the middle of South Carolina.
The rhino suit from Ace Ventura.
Right? Oh my god. But yeah, I just wanted to end the show on that note. Great Cloud, did you want to do housekeeping?
Let me take a crack at this housekeeping.
You totally got this.
All right. So, Nation, as you know, we have a show every night of the week. Tonight is Tied Up Tuesdays with myself and Minx and our call-in guy, KJ. Tomorrow is WTF Wednesdays with Jim Beam and Jay Reddy. Thursday is Sergeant Times with myself, Ice, Doc Madness. And sometimes when his equipment is working, Mike Golf. Friday night is Friday Night Freedom, which is Minx and Mud Puppy. This Friday they have Drill Sergeant High from Angry Cops.
Yes. Yes, we
so
do.
excited. I got my shirt made.
Saturday Night Savagery. Minx, who's on Saturday this Saturday?
Saturday is Jay Reddy.
Is it Jay Reddy? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Jay Reddy and Pookie.
Right. Sunday night is the Green Room. And then we roll back to the Monday edition with Ice and Cuffs now on Mondays.
Right. Oh, and we also have a contest going right now.
Oh, contest.
So, yeah, Artillery Round Tumblers have graciously given us a couple tumblers to give away to lucky fans. So all you got to do is follow like 5 easy steps. 1, you go to our radio Facebook page, which most of you are already on. Like the page, like the pinned post of our contest, share the post to your timeline, and then comment in our pinned post with hashtag functional veteran. By doing this, you're automatically entered for your chance to win 1 artillery round tumbler. And also, don't forget to jump over to their Facebook page and give them a like and share as well. We're still still doing the Warrior of the Month competition. So it's for E4, not NCOs, and below. So like E1 to not NCO E4. And it's open to all branches: Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and the Coasties, because the Puddle Pirates need love too. And so what you can do is you go to WTFNationRadio.com and look on the left-hand side and scroll down, and you'll see like Warrior of the Month or WOTM. And that's the application. So any like NCO or officer is able to submit one of their troops for this competition. And so what we're going to do is we're going to gather all the submissions and then compete them against each other, almost like a board. And whoever wins gets a sweet little prize. So, yeah, it'll be a good time because we like to give back to our listeners.
Yes, we do.
I would love to do a board. That'd be hilarious. What is your greatest strength? Fuck that. Marine, give me the Marine Corps Infantryman's Creed. What? Huh? Dude, so the Coast Guard.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, so seriously, 1, I'm fucking awesome at boards. Like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but like, toot. And like, okay, so quick story before we leave, right? So one of the best boards I was in, it was a Soldier of the Quarter board, which I won, by the way, because I'm awesome. And my first sergeant, like at the very, like it was towards the end of the actual like oral board, and questions had gone to him, and he was like, "All right, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?" And, like, in my head, I was thinking real quickly, like, everyone's going to fucking choose either invisibility or flight. You know, I have to do something that, like, stands out from anybody else, right?
There's only one correct answer, Minx.
Oh no, I told them be able to breathe underwater, and they asked why, and I said so I can play with all the dolphins and whales. And and obviously I said it correctly. It's like, to play with all the dolphins and whales, First Sergeant. And he's like, well, what if they don't want to play with you? And I said, well, that's okay, because then I'll just find a different pod and I'll play with that pod, First Sergeant. And apparently my answer was so unexpected. Like, the entire board committee started laughing their asses off, and I'm just sitting there like stone cold, like killer face, like what? and then I got dismissed, and then I won. Yay.
So real quick, what superpower would you have, Gray Cloud?
I'm all about adamantium.
Y'all are thinking too small. I want the Zach Morris timeout.
What?
Saved by the Bell.
So hold on. So Minx just asked what? So obviously she has no idea what we're talking about.
No, I know what Saved by the Bell is. I know who Zach Morris is. I don't.
The timeout. He can freeze time without anyone taking any notice whatsoever indefinitely.
Oh, interesting.
And he doesn't age during said time.
Okay.
Frozen time.
Nice.
I could solve Korea in literally what would be 30 seconds. Like literally, timeout, bam, and I'm sitting there like, okay, and anything he touches is moving. I can okay, take the time, read a manual on how to fly a B-52, learn how to load up a couple of Moabs, and bada bing, bada boom. I'm a subject matter expert. I fly over, stop in California, refuel, fly to Hawaii, refuel, fly to Guam, refuel, South Korea, refuel, and then bam, just Moab, just consistently Moab,
pew,
North
pew,
Korea.
Pew, pew.
Done. Problem solved.
Pew, pew, pew is not the Moab.
Well, okay.
And then
like
by the
kaboom.
time I time in, we're finishing up the show, and all of a sudden, big news alert: North Korea's been wiped off the face of the map, and Walmart's looking to buy new land.
Well, or South Korea is now an island.
I don't know what that would do to global warming. I'm kind of a little nervous about that one.
Good.
I'm more comfortable with regional Walmart.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But yeah, all right. That's it for us, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us on Tuesdays. Yeah, so tune in tomorrow for WTF Wednesday with Jim Beam. So yeah, thanks for. Have a good evening. I don't fucking know what I'm saying right now. I don't know. Good night, everybody. I'm tired.
Of all the guilt we try to hide, and I no longer have the will to drive all these promises.